This is the Iowa Weather Report for Wednesday, March 26, 2014. And now our first look at the 0Z GFS model run. This is at 1 p.m. this afternoon. We have a big storm moving up into the Canadian Maritimes, bringing some very blizzard-like conditions across the New England states and into the Canadian Maritimes. Around here we have a ridge overhead, the winds turning southwesterly, and temperatures running up into the 40s north and east to maybe low 60s in the western counties. It's also going to start to bring in the Gulf of Mexico moisture up, and that could come in late tonight and into Thursday. This could bring us some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two. This would mainly be across the southeastern about third of the state, and as the precipitation or as cold air comes in behind the system, we could see the precipitation end as some rain-snow mix into very early Friday morning. Otherwise, then the storm moves off to the east. Skies will sort of clear a little bit, partly to mostly cloudy skies around here on Friday as another system comes in that could scrape the southern counties during the Friday evening time period, with highs a little cooler Friday, but Saturday it starts to warm up a little bit as that system moves off to the east. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s for highs here. Going into Sunday, however, oh boy, you better enjoy Sunday. Strong winds, highs in the 60s across the state, maybe a few 70s in some areas. Could also see a high fire danger in some areas. But a system then sweeps in from the north and west here, and this will drop the temperatures down here on Monday. We could see some rain early in the day, maybe a little bit of snow in far northeast Iowa, but mainly in Minnesota, Wisconsin. That quickly moves off. Tuesday, it begins to warm back up as winds turn south to south-southeasterly ahead of the next system that's going to be approaching from the west. And that looks to take aim at us here a week from today, next Wednesday. You can see a trough digging in across the middle part of the country. It's neutral to slightly positive, so if there's going to be any possible severe weather, it would likely take place in Missouri down to Oklahoma and Texas, about where the severe weather threat could be for this coming Thursday. Otherwise, it looks to be fairly stormy and showery with highs in the 50s. Going into the extended period, we see on April 6th, well, we see a big trough over the eastern half of the country and a ridge over the west. We've seen this all winter long. A big trough in the east means colder weather around, and that looks to be the case here across the Great Lakes and into the north and east. Temperatures around here likely would be in the 40s to lower 50s, with maybe a few more clouds around with some possible rain or rain-snow mix across the Great Lakes into New England. Then at the end of the forecast on April the 10th, now we have a trough coming in with some energy across the Colorado High Plains into Kansas and Nebraska. And this looks like a severe weather episode possibility, mainly across maybe the plains, the Kansas, down into Oklahoma and Texas, but this is still more than 2 weeks out. This could go away on the next run. But in other words, if this is to be right, it could be warm and maybe stormy. Satellite image from last evening looks fairly stormy in the north and east, with a fairly rapidly developing low pressure center moving northeast toward the Canadian Maritimes. Another system coming in across the northern Rockies. That'll bring us some precipitation later in the week. Watch morning map from last evening. We had some winter weather issues right along the Atlantic coast from the mid-Atlantic to the north and east. Lots of freeze warnings down in the south, some wind advisories in the plains and in the desert southwest as well. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days. This goes through Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, showing most of the precipitation will be across the east and along the northeast coast. The Pacific Northwest, around here, may be seeing precipitation up to a half an inch.